Good morning. I'd like to welcome everybody out. Appreciate you coming to our docket for our March docket. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Commissioner Stamps, you recognize.
Attention, salute, pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next, we'll recognize Ms. Caroline Tibbs to introduce Pastor Tyson Taylor for our opening prayer. Ms. Tibbs, you recognize.
Thank you for recognizing me. Can y'all hear me? Okay. Sorry. Okay. Pastor Tyson Taylor has served as the senior pastor at Lakeside Presbyterian Church since June 2016. Lakeside is a community church just outside of Jackson, Mississippi, on the Ross Barnett Reservoir. Pastor Taylor studied divinity/theology at Princeton Theological Seminary. Prior to his current ministry, Pastor Taylor served as the associate pastor of discipleship at Westminster Presbyterian Church in his hometown, Lubbock, Texas, for 5 years. Before then, he served as the director of student ministry at First Presbyterian Church in Amarillo, Texas, for 11 years. Outside of his ministry, Pastor Taylor is married to his wife, Cammie Taylor, and they are devoted parents to their 2 children, Kale and Riley. Pastor Taylor is a lover of people, art, hunting, and eating. Pastor Taylor, you are welcome to come up here and go ahead and lead us in prayer.
Well, my friends, let's pray together. Heavenly Father, we come before you today with gratitude for the opportunity to serve the people of Mississippi. You are the source of all wisdom, justice, and truth. And we humbly seek your presence and guidance as this commission carries out its work. Grant to these leaders discernment, integrity, a heart for service as they make decisions that impact the daily lives of our citizens. May they be ever mindful of the trust placed in them to steward resources wisely, to ensure fairness and transparency, and to protect the well-being of our communities. May their deliberations be marked with humility, patience, and a steadfast commitment to the common good. We ask for your blessing upon the people of our great state. In all things, we ask that we would remember that we are but stewards of the responsibilities entrusted to us, and that true wisdom comes from walking humbly with you. We ask all this in the name of Christ Jesus our Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. You may be seated. Start this morning with the consent docket. Item number 1, adoption of the proposed consent docket for the March 2025 open meeting of the commission.
So moved.
Have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Moving on to the energy, electric, natural gas agenda. Ms. Myrick, you're recognized to present item number 1.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioners, on December 20th, 2024, Mississippi Power Company filed a notice of special contract between Mississippi Power and PCC Gulf Chem Corporation for the provision of electric service to certain facilities located in Hancock County. The proposed agreement for electric service qualifies as a special contract pursuant to Mississippi Code 77335 and Rule 27 of the Commission's Public Utilities Rules of Practice and Procedure. Under the proposed special contract, Mississippi Power will provide electric service to PCC Gulf Chem's new facility that will be co-located at the Chemours plant site. PCC Gulf Chem will produce chlorine and sodium hydroxide at the new facility. The chlorine will be supplied to Chemours for its use at its production facility, and the sodium hydroxide will be sold to PCC Gulf Chem's other partners and to the open market. The agreement achieves the necessary goals of a special contract including that it recovers sufficient revenues to meet the incremental costs to serve PCC Gulf County, that it contains a price sufficiently competitive to attract the customer, and that the revenues received by Mississippi Power from the agreement will provide a contribution margin above Mississippi Power's incremental cost of service. The contribution margin will benefit Mississippi Power's other retail customers. Staff recommends approval.
Thank you for the presentation. Any questions?
Comments.
You're recognized.
First of all, I would like to thank the Mississippi Power for reaching out to this industry and structuring this deal that has been made. It's great for our state, it's great for our community, and it's great for our citizens that are going to be working. I mean, there's a lot of work went in this from all parties that were involved. And I thank y'all for your diligence, your prudence, and I would imagine there was times when there was some difficulties, but y'all worked through them. And it's great for our state, and I greatly appreciate that. And our community on the coast greatly appreciates it. I just want to say thank y'all.
Thank you, Mr. Carr. And thank you, staff, for your work on this. I know it's a lot of work to try to hammer this out, but it is going to be a good addition to our state. So, good job. Thank you. Hearing no questions, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Meyer. Good job.
Thank you.
Staff. Moving on to telecommunications agenda. Mr. Jones, you're recognized to present item number 1.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, in 2024, UA 0116 Tag Mobility, doing business as Tag Mobile, a wireless telecommunication carrier in good standing with the Mississippi Secretary of State's office, applies for Lifeline ETC designation to provide Lifeline services statewide utilizing AT&T's wireless network as its underlying provider. Tag Mobile carries Lifeline ETC designation in 20 other states and has an FCC-approved Lifeline compliance plan. And their proposed Lifeline offering matches or exceeds the minimum program requirements. Based upon Tag's application with its attached exhibits, responses to staff's data request, and further inquiry, of which the Commission has been apprised, Tag appears to meet the Lifeline program requirements to provide the service in our state. Further, the grant of authority requested would be in the interest of the public, as entry will strengthen the competition among Lifeline providers in the state. Therefore, the staff recommends that the Commission approve Tag Mobile's application.
Mr. Jones, thank you for that, for your work on this and presentation. We won't hold their counsel against them. So, any questions? Hearing none, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Jones.
Welcome, sir.
Moving on to the water sewer agenda. Mr. Rhodes, you're recognized to present items number 1 through 3, if you will.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. The Darling Water Association, with consent and support of Quitman County, is seeking to construct a new wastewater collection system. The current sewer situation in the Darling community is creating numerous environmental problems. The Darling Water Association is proposing a project that will encompass building a wastewater collection system with 2 duplex pumping stations. The system will be tied into the Falcon wastewater system, where the waste will be pumped and treated at the lagoon at Falcon. The cost of this project is roughly $3.5 million. The funding will be provided through 2 separate grants, with Quitman County matching one of the grants on this program. At the completion of this project, 82 households will have viable sewer service. A $25 flat fee will be assessed to ratepayers to cover the cost to treat the sewer in the lagoon and also to maintain that system. The Mississippi Department of Environmental Quality has reviewed the plans and has no other technical comments regarding this project. The Mississippi Department of Environmental Quality made their approval contingent upon receiving a financial viability letter from the of Mississippi Public Utility staff. That letter has been provided. The maps and legal descriptions have been verified and interested parties noticed. This new wastewater service will be a benefit to the Darling community and to the surrounding community as a whole. It is staff's recommendation that Darling be granted this certificate of public convenience and necessity to construct this wastewater system in Quitman County, Mississippi.
Thank you. Any questions? Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
Any questions? Hearing none, do I have a motion? You have a comment?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
The $25 flat fee, what's the history on that? How long will that be in place? Do you know?
Well, that will be in place for the entirety. I mean, that is to Falcon will be actually invoicing, Darling for the treatment of that, and those costs will cover any kind of maintenance that Darling might have to perform on that system.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you. Any other questions? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Rhodes, you're recognized to present item number 2.
Okay, thank you. St. Thomas Water Association and the City of Clinton have filed a joint petition requesting that a portion of the certificated area of St. Thomas be canceled. As a result of operational concerns involving a well on the St. Thomas Water Association system, the City of Clinton and St. Thomas Water Association entered into a mutual agreement to safeguard customers on the St. Thomas system. The terms of the agreement provided for an emergency connection between the two systems and allowed Clinton to provide service to a group of customers in the area that St. Thomas struggled to serve. This agreement was signed way back in 2015. The City of Clinton has been providing service to this select group of people for almost 10 years now, and this is in the city limits of Clinton. The map and legal descriptions have been verified and interested parties noticed. This filing is simply updating the maps to present the areas which these parties are actually serving. From the facts presented in this filing and discovery obtained, it is staff's recommendation that this cancellation be approved by the Commission.
Thank you, Mr. Rhodes. Any questions? Hearing none, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Rhodes, you're also recognized to present item number 3.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The East Madison Water Association has filed a petition for supplemental certificate of public convenience and necessity, authorizing it to construct, operate, and maintain a water system in Madison County, Mississippi. This petition will allow East Madison Water Association the opportunity to provide service to the new Ragsdale Solar One site in Madison County. The proposed project will consist of approximately 3,300 linear feet of 4-inch PVC water main, which will provide water service to the operations and maintenance building at the Ragsdale Solar One site. East Madison Water Association will assume the responsibility to construct and maintain that addition, while Ragsdale will provide all the funding for this project. Mapping has been verified and all interested parties have been given notice. Staff views this as a favorable project because the ratepayers are not subsidizing this expansion. This project will help reduce costs and provide flexibility for East Madison Water Association to expand services to some additional customers in the future on a limited basis. From the facts presented in this filing and discovery obtained, it is staff's recommendation that this supplemental certificate be approved by the Commission.
Thank you, Mr. Rhodes. Appreciate your explanation and work on this. Any questions? Yes, sir, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to appreciate the hard work and dedication you put in place. This is going to help that community a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Stamps. Hearing no other questions, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Rhodes. Appreciate you and your staff for preparing that. Also, we'll move on to the administrative agenda. Item number 1, discussion of possible action regarding approval of commission minutes for February 2025 term of commission. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item number 2, Mr. Jones, you're recognized to handle item number 2.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item number 2 is discussion of possible action regarding the proposed order in docket number 2011 UA 387 Q-Link Wireless, Inc. It is an order of referral for a hearing. In October of last year, the CEO and sole owner of Q-Link and the organization entered guilty pleas in federal court for a number of indictments that a number of charges that stem from their defrauding the federal government Lifeline program over $100 million. And they are currently a designated ETC Lifeline program in Mississippi. So the staff has entered a motion to revoke that designation. And this order will refer that to hearing to just, procedurally, that's what we have to do in order to revoke that designation.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Any questions? Hearing none, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item number 4. Mr. Jones, you're recognized to present item number 4.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item number 4 is discussion of possible action regarding the proposed order in docket 2024 UA 136 Jasper Solar LLC. This is an order of referral to Commissioner Carr. It is in his district, and so we will do that. This is for a CPCN for a proposed solar facility in Jasper County.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Any questions? Hearing none, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Jones. Moving on to item number 5, you're recognized to present it as well.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item number 5 is discussion of possible action regarding the proposed order in docket number 2024 UA 137 Itala Solar LLC. Like item number 4, this is a CPCN petition from Itala Solar LLC, and this agenda item is an order of referral to yourself. It is in Itala County, so we're going to refer it to you and for hearing.
Sounds good. Thank you, Mr. Jones. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to items 6 and 7. We'll let Ms. Dixon, we'll let you handle both of those.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm
Thank
happy
you.
to do this, but I believe we skipped item number 3.
Yes, we intentionally skipped item 3. Passed it, yes.
Okay, excuse me. I'm happy to go forward then.
Thank you.
Items 6 and 7 are sort of lumped together. What we've done is we have prepared for the Commission's consideration 2 orders certifying the annual financial and procurement fuel audits to the of Mississippi Power Company and Entergy to the legislature in accordance with Mississippi Code Annotated 77342. The reports were filed by the auditors back in December, and staff has reviewed them and submitted a written summary and their own comments on the reports last week. Staff is available to address those today if needed, and we also have representatives from each of the auditing firms present today to present the Commission with a brief summary of their respective findings and recommendations. Specifically, we have representatives from Horn and London Economics here to present their findings concerning Entergy Mississippi, and we have representatives from Forvis and Bates White here to present their findings concerning Mississippi Power Company. Just as a reminder and for procedural clarification, the presentations today and the orders that we have prepared are the first of what is a 2-step process concerning the statutory fuel audits. At this point, the Commission is tasked with, by the statute, with confirming that the audits were done in accordance with the provisions of the statute and that the requirements of the statute were satisfied so that we can certify as much to the legislature and provide them with copies of the reports. going forward, after today, commission staff will meet with representatives of the company and with staff to specifically review the different recommendations by the auditors, the company's responses, and the staff's recommendations so that we can prepare a supplemental, more substantive order basically directing the filing of action plans on the items that the commission deems appropriate. So with that, we will turn it over to the presentation portion of today's process. And we'll start with the Entergy filing, and we have representative, we'll start with the financial auditor, who is, I believe we have Joe Green from Horn.
Mr. Green, you're recognized. Thanks.
Thank you, Laura. And thank you, commissioners, for having me today, and it's a pleasure to serve the commission. And also just wanted to thank you for your leadership in serving the state. As Laura mentioned, we did, our procedures were performed to address the financial audit of Entergy. We did issue our report December the 10th with no findings. The report does reference questionable costs that have been historically reported related to fuel handling. That amount is approximately $100,000 and is noted in the report as questionable cost. These amounts are, again, as I mentioned, have been reported in the past and noted by the utility staff. Just briefly, a little bit about our audit approach. As Laura mentioned, it does address the financial audit, which is, from a risk standpoint, it's addressing whether the costs are allowable to be recovered by Entergy. And while the procurement audit is a little bit, maybe I would use the word, there's more judgment involved in those procedures, the financial audit procedures really comes down to, are the costs allowable or not? There's not much gray area there. And so as a result, as you can imagine, our procedures are focused on a lot of transactions, and we are on transactions that are significant to the allowable cost schedule. And then also we do, to address the unpredictability or predictability aspects of the engagement, we do select other transactions that while they may not be viewed as significant from a dollar standpoint, we do want to make sure that we're testing transactions that otherwise the auditee might not expect us to look at. So if that makes sense, we don't want to look at the same type of transactions every year. So with that, we did not identify any findings. There were no uncorrected misstatements that we proposed to management. There were no disagreements with, and when I say management, I'm referring to Entergy management. There were no disagreements with Entergy management, and we're not aware of any, we didn't make any consultations with other experts outside of our audit team, and we're not aware of any communications that Entergy may have had related to the engagement outside of their team. That is really a high-level summary of our procedures and results, but happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Any questions? Thank you for your presentation.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Mr. Green.
Next, we have, I believe it's Marie Fagan and Barbara Porto from London Economics, and they performed the procurement audit.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to appear before you and be of service to the Commission. I and my colleague, Barbara Porto, who's here today, would also like to thank Entergy and the EML staff for their kind cooperation in the audit. Overall, we have just a few high-level comments that we'll keep this to. As in previous years, we found that the processes, procedures, and oversight at EML and Entergy are thorough and professional, as befits a large and established organization. We had 8 findings, which are associated with recommendations for the audit period. Some of them have to do with confidential information, so as this is a public meeting, I'll just keep the summary at a high level. And they come under the various categories that we were asked to audit. The first one being organization and staffing. We found that the power generation group at EML is well organized and adequately staffed, and the procedures are well documented. We found that good practice would be if EML and Entergy Arkansas meets its target for the deactivation plan for the Independence plant. The target date is after the audit period, so we recommend the next auditor follow up on this. And second, during the audit period, there was a forced outage at the Grand Gulf nuclear plant, and we had a general recommendation relative to that. The next topic is plant operations. Based on performance measures that are widely used in the industry, many of EML's units improved in performance compared to the previous audit period. But though there was improvements, many units remained below industry averages in several cases. And so we recommend that EML continue its improving performance. And we had another recommendation relative to the Sunflower Solar Facility. Our next audit area was MISO operations, and we found that the company had clear processes in place to ensure the company's effective and competent participation in MISO markets. One recommendation, though, there was regarding the Independence plant. Ideally, the units should be committed to optimize their value in the MISO markets and not relative to reducing or conserving coal inventories. The next area was coal procurement. We found that the coal contracts reflected market awareness and prudency. The coal burn forecast was more accurate in the past, but partly that was because of the need to burn more coal to reduce inventories. So we do continue to recommend that the company identify the major drivers for coal burn forecast errors and implement an action plan. The next is coal inventory management. The coal inventory levels at Independence were above Entergy's own target levels during the entire audit period. And although we are aware that's consistent with Arkansas regulations, we had some recommendations for the projections of capacity factors that are used to develop these inventory targets. Relative to natural gas supply and transportation, we had no recommendations. They have a reasonable procurement strategy, and delivered prices were competitive when compared with spot market prices. Next, nuclear fuel procurement and inventory management. We had no recommendations. As it has been in the past, that process is well organized, it shows market awareness, and it implemented savvy approaches to contracting. And finally, the Grand Gulf Power Purchase Agreement, the PPA. The average capacity factor at Grand Gulf during the audit period, excluding the refueling outage, was lower than in the previous period, and as we mentioned, there was a forced outage. So we recommend that they ensure the plant is in good repair to support operations at a high capacity factor, which minimizes the cost to ratepayers. So those are the high-level results of the audit, and we would be very happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Fagan. Any questions? Hearing none. Thank you for your work. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Fagan. Would the commission like to vote on this item before moving to the next?
Yes, that's
So-
item number 6.
Yes, so it would be the certification of the Entergy fuel audits to the legislature.
2022 AD 42. Correct?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Any questions? Hearing none, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Recognized to present item number 7.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. All right, so the presenters that we have for the Mississippi Power Company audits, I believe, well, Mr. Crawford, Will Crawford, who is a representative of Forvis, they performed the financial audit, is connected by Zoom, and I don't know if we have a screen to show him, or if that's coming down. There he is. Can you hear me, Mr. Crawford?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. You can go ahead and present your findings.
Mr. Crawford, you're recognized.
Thank you so much. Mr. Chair and Commissioners, appreciate the opportunity to present to you today. My name is Will Crawford. I'm a partner in the Jackson, Mississippi office of Forvis, and I apologize. I was double booked today. I'm in Columbia, South Carolina, teaching some continuing education. So I very much appreciate the commission and the staff's flexibility to allow me to present remotely, and apologize for any inconvenience that might have caused. We performed the financial audit of the fuel clause over Mississippi Power, and just to kind of high level overview and point out a couple of important factors. We got full cooperation from the team at Mississippi Power. We started our procedures in June, looked at some interim numbers from October through June, and then closed out final numbers for the last quarter of the year under audit and issued our report on December 13th, 2024. We performed site visits down in Gulfport and in Birmingham at the Energy Operations Center there, touring the trading floor and then digging in a little deeper into some of the fleet operations, pool settlement, and gas procurement that they do. Our audit was really broken down into three types of procedures that we do. The first of which is test of details. We're going to spend time sampling transactions, looking at vouching individual items and doing recalculations to ensure that the amounts are appropriate from an accounting standpoint, but also from a compliance standpoint. And a little bit unique on the accounting standpoint, the schedule's prepared in accordance with a couple of different accounting rules. Most of those are defined by either FERC, by the commission's rules, or by the state law, by the parts of the state code that create the fuel clause. So we're auditing back against those. We're also going to perform some test of details, test of controls, where we're going to take the processes, procedures, the checks and balances that Mississippi Power says are in place, and we're going to go in and check and make sure that those are actually happening like they're supposed to ensure that that transactions are flowing through the process like they're supposed to. And then finally, we're going to perform some analytical procedures. To say that another way, we're going to look at the forest instead of the trees to make sure things make sense and compare usage and the capacity to spot prices on the gas pipelines. And also, one of the big things we look at are the number of heating and cooling degree days that are in a given year and a given period. That kind of shows us what we could expect from a usage standpoint. So we're going to use a lot of that information we gather on the entity and its internal controls to come up with a risk assessment and then audit based on that risk assessment. This was our third year doing the fuel audit for Mississippi Power. So we really put a big focus on maintaining a high level of professional skepticism, kind of following that corroboration and verification of any items that we look at to make sure that things made sense at the end of the day. In December, we issued 2 deliverables, the first of which was our independent auditor's report. In that independent auditor's report, we issued what we call a clean opinion or an unmodified opinion on the fuel clause schedules that are prepared by Mississippi Power Company. Our opinion letter refers to the fact that those schedules are the responsibility of Mississippi Power, but it also mentions it's our responsibility to audit those. We won't go into the numbers in this discussion, but I do think it's important to note that the numbers in that schedule that we audit against do match the filings that have been made with the commission, so that those are numbers that have already been looked at by the commission, by the staff. We identified no issues, no question costs, no concerns, material or immaterial, associated with our procedures of Mississippi Power. And the second deliverable that we provided to the commission is what we refer to as a management letter or a governance letter. And what that letter says is less important than what it does not say. If we had immaterial items that came to our attention or internal control matters that need to be reported, those would have been mentioned in that letter. And I'm pleased to report that there were none there. But again, need to thank Mississippi Power's team for their hard work in making sure that we got the information in a timely manner and an organized manner in a way that we could conduct the audit as effectively and efficiently as possible. Mr. Chair, commissioners, and staff, that concludes my prepared remarks. I'd love to entertain any questions from any of you.
Thank you, Mr. Crawford. Appreciate that presentation. Commissioners, any questions? Hearing none, again, thank you for your work and help and your presentation of this audit.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Mr. Crawford.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And next, we have Vincent Musco from Bates White concerning the procurement audit of Mississippi Power.
Mr. Musco, you're recognized.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. My name is Vincent Musco. I'm a partner with Bates White Economic Consulting. Bates White was retained by the Commission to perform a procurement review audit for fuel purchases by Mississippi Power Company for the period October 1, 2023 through September 30, 2024. Our audit assessed Mississippi Power's practices, procedures, and processes for effectiveness and economic efficiency. We reviewed Mississippi Power's processes and controls for ensuring the statutory objective of lowest reasonable cost purchases. We reviewed individual fuel and purchase power transactions to ensure that Mississippi Power is purchasing fuel in an economic manner. Our audit culminated in a report submitted on December 15th, 2024. The report contains our findings, conclusions, and recommendations. We reviewed several aspects of Mississippi Power's operations, including organization, staffing, and controls, purchase and inventory management of coal, purchase and supply management of natural gas, power plant performance and fleet operations, and energy trading operations. We identified no major concerns in our audit. We put forth several recommendations for the Commission's consideration. Our recommendations address issues such as review of existing reporting requirements for certain generation data, enhance natural gas contracting practices to reduce the risk of billing disputes in the future, and enhanced record keeping regarding generating units operated at elevated minimum generation levels. As a final point, we noted that personnel at Mississippi Power and Southern Company Services were responsive and professional throughout the engagement, and our audit team was appreciative of their cooperation. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Mr. Musco. Any questions? Appreciate your report. Thank you for what you do.
With that, we would submit the order certifying the Mississippi Power Company audit reports to the legislature.
Okay. Any questions on item number 7? Hearing none, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Dixon, for your work. Appreciate your help. Moving on, I'd like to recognize Nyla McClure to present item number 8.
Thank you. Would Mr. Ricky Cotton and Mrs. Pam Cotton please join me at the podium? My apologies.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you. Would Mrs. Pam Cotton and Mr. Ricky Cotton join me at the podium? All right. Today, I'll be reading our resolution of the Mississippi Public Service Commission recognizing and honoring the career and achievements of Mr. Ricky L. Cotton, Director of MPSC Pipeline Safety Division. Whereas Ricky L. Cotton was born on the 6th day of November in the year 1965 at Beecham Memorial Hospital in Magnolia Pike County, Mississippi, to Wade Lee Cotton and Carrie Ann Coleman. His parents, to include his stepfather, Jerry Coleman, raised him in a loving Christian home in Macomb, Mississippi. And whereas Ricky L. Cotton's dedication to family is evident in his 34-year marriage to his wife, Pamela Swanigan Cotton, and their beautiful family. Ricky is the proud father of Shelby Alexis Cotton, Ricky Lavelle Cotton Jr., and daughter-in-law Michaela L. Cotton. Ricky is also the proud grandfather to 3 beautiful grandchildren, Carson Olivia Cotton, Devin Noel Cotton, and Ricky Lavelle Cotton III. And whereas Ricky L. Cotton received his Bachelor of Science degree from Jackson State University in 1988 in the College of Liberal Arts with a degree in criminal justice, and began his career at the Mississippi Public Service Commission in 1989 as a pipeline safety investigator for the Southern District. then was promoted to Director of Pipeline Safety and made many lasting contributions to the field of natural gas safety and to his department. And whereas Ricky L. Cotton also provided excellent leadership by serving as the district manager from 2003 to 2014 with Centerpoint Energy. Because of his vast knowledge within the industry, he was selected to be a member of Centerpoint leadership team. And whereas Ricky L. Cotton continued his esteemed career when he returned to the Mississippi Public Service Commission in 2014 as the Director of Pipeline Safety, where he continued to earn the admiration and respect of his colleagues in the natural gas industry for his industry knowledge, professionalism, leadership, and hard work. And whereas Ricky L. Cotton has been elected to participate in multiple industry boards and organizations to include the NAPSR Board of Directors, the Mississippi Underground Facilities Damage Prevention Board, Mississippi Natural Gas Association, Gas Technical Pipeline Committee, and he has been a member of several professional organizations, including the American Association of Blacks in Energy, United Way, Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, and Boy Scouts of America, where he was a board member. Now, therefore, be it resolved, Ricky L. Cotton's retirement on March 31st, 2025 follows his distinguished career, professional achievements, and outstanding service to the Mississippi Public Service Commission and to the state of Mississippi since 1989. Be it further resolved, the Mississippi Public Service Commission takes immense pleasure in honoring and recognizing Ricky L. Cotton for his astounding contributions to the state of Mississippi, and hereby expresses its sincere gratitude for his invaluable contributions, dedication, and commitment to public service in the natural gas industry. Adopted at the Mississippi Public Service Commission this, the 4th day of March, 2025.
Ms. McClure, are you asking us to vote to let him retire?
Please.
Do we have to vote on that?
Yes, sir, please.
Good job, thank you.
Thank
I forgot I did all those things that she just reminded me of. 35 years in the industry has been just wonderful industry, working with some of the most valuable resources and people, you know, having a wonderful boss like Ms. Catherine and these commissioners. Y'all been a pleasure to work for over the last year and a half, almost a year and a half. And we just want to say thank you for all that you do. This body of work that you all do is very important. And I just think that people in the natural gas industry recognize the value, and y'all just continue to do what you do. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Cotton. Excuse me, Rick, Mr. Cotton. Mr. Stamps, Commissioner Stamps not going to let you off that easy.
Well, first I want to say thank you. You know, thank you for participating in the 1% of society that allows for the other 99% to complain. Because the work that we do in this industry is important, and you're a testament to the commitment, resolve, and dedication necessary that we all exude, but you personified in a great way. Thank you for always being honest and honorable and truly dedicated to this work. Thank you very much, and hats off to you. You can come on out to the farm and go fishing sometimes in your retirement.
Yes, sir. Thank you, and I appreciate it.
Commissioner Carr.
I'll vote yes if you make one promise.
Uh-oh. I'll make it.
Stay busy. Stay busy.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I'll echo what Commissioner Stamps said as well. It is a thankless task a lot of times, but we appreciate your service, all that you've done for us, and likewise, it's been a pleasure to work with you and your team, and y'all do a fantastic job, and it's very, very important to the people of Mississippi. So thank you, and enjoy retirement. I guess we'll vote yes.
Thank you, and I appreciate it. You know, Commissioner Brown was joking right before the session started. He came back. He said that, you know, we have to vote on whether or not you retire or not. I said, as long as it's unanimous. So it's a unanimous. Thank y'all so much.
Hey, now, Mr. Cotton, we're going to put you on the. We're going to ask Ms. Cotton if she wants to say something.
Oh.
Can we?
Now, let me tell you, now she has the gift of gab.
Uh-oh.
I'm the quiet one.
Oh.
But no, I'm just so proud of Ricky and all of his accomplishments, as you all have heard. And I just thank you all so much for supporting him over the years. And we're happy to have him home, but we're so proud of all the accomplishments he's made over the 30-plus years. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cobb. Okay, if we must vote. Any questions, gentlemen? Hearing none, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations. Moving on to item number 9, we're going to recognize Richard Stone to present item number 9. Richard, do you recognize?
Thank you.
Reluctant.
This is a resolution of the Mississippi Public Service Commission recognizing March 18th, 2025 as Natural Gas Utility Workers' Day in Mississippi. Whereas natural gas is an essential part of Mississippi's energy infrastructure, providing reliable, efficient, and affordable energy to homes, businesses, and industries throughout the state, and whereas natural gas utility workers play a vital role in ensuring the safe and efficient delivery of natural gas, maintaining pipeline infrastructure, responding to emergencies, and promoting public safety and awareness. Whereas these dedicated professionals work in all weather conditions, often at great personal risk to maintain service, repair infrastructure, and respond to critical needs during emergencies and natural disasters. And whereas their expertise and commitment help ensure the reliability of natural gas services, contributing to economic growth, energy security, and the well-being of communities across Mississippi. And whereas March 18th has been designated as the National Natural Gas Utility Workers' Day to recognize the contributions and dedication of these workers. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Mississippi Public Service Commission hereby recognizes March 18th, 2025 as Natural Gas Utility Workers' Day in the state of Mississippi and encourages all citizens to acknowledge and appreciate the critical work performed by natural gas utility professionals in maintaining the safety and reliability of our energy infrastructure.
Thank you, Mr. Stone. Good job. Any comments, questions? I think it does go hand in glove with recognizing Mr. Cotton and his work. We do take our energy and our warm homes and hot food on the stove for granted sometimes. So as Commissioner Stamp said, we appreciate the 1% that allows the other 99 to complain. But good job. Appreciate all the those that make sure that we have energy choice in Mississippi and for the services they provide for our citizens and us. So hearing no other questions, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. One other thing, Bob Odom has brought it to our attention that there's a young person today here to watch our work. He's new on the job. His name's Cannon Shelby from Jasper County. He's the son of Brent Shelby, who is the new regional manager for Great River. We're happy to see this young man come to show interest in the work that we do, and we just want to give him a nice welcome. And there's another really young man back there, too. There you go. Yeah. You want to come up and give a speech? No, he hid. Okay. Any more business to come before the commission? Hearing none, we stand adjourned.